Bruce Lee is the godfather of mixed martial arts as we see it today. I think Bruce Lee was one of the first people, in fact, I would say confidently, the first one in the world to put a trademark stamp on mixed martial arts as we know it today. My very first memory of seeing Bruce Lee was just through photos, and I always was curious, who is that guy with those scratches on his stomach and his face and all these cool mirrors? Like, what is that? And I was just curious. Watching Bruce Lee, I mean, that was like the cherry on top, right? That was the nail in the coffin for me in a good way, where I knew here's this larger-than-life, charismatic character that defied all the odds. He ruffled a lot of feathers. You can see it in his demeanor that he was just a renegade. He was a supernova. And what would my life be like if I didn't see that picture or that movie, or didn't really care to endeavor in this world of martial arts? You see Bruce Lee punching and kicking, single leg, double leg, a straight armbar, which kind of turns into a kimura. So you see all these elements of fighting within a quick, like 60-second clip. And if you look even closer, you see that he's wearing fingerless gloves, very much like how we see today in the UFC. At that time period in the 70s, that didn't exist. Like, you're either wearing a boxing glove or you don't wear one, and you're a wrestler or you're doing judo, and there was no happy medium. So he said, hold on a second, this glove, even though it's used for sword fighting, we can use that for what I'm gonna project here, and that is mixed martial arts.
If you look at the Dao Jeet Kune Do, he's talking about striking, he's talking about takedowns, he's talking about grappling, and his ability to mix it all together, knowing that the fight can go anywhere at any time, so you have to be as well versed as you can in as many areas as possible, and that was his whole thing.
My name is Eric Paulson. I'm the owner of CSW Training Center. And I always wanted to come to LA to learn Bruce Lee's martial arts. The way he mixed the arts, the way he blended things, and everything was based off of combat, taking the best of the best, absorbing what was useful and discarding what was not, and then using specifically what was my own.
So without Bruce Lee, this gym would not be here, because Eric Paulson's instructor's name is Guru Dan Inosanto. And Guru Dan Inosanto was Bruce Lee's #1 student. He grew up with him, he trained with him, and without Bruce Lee, there would be no Eric Paulson. Without Eric Paulson, there would be no CSW, and without this gym, there would be no Trent Moe as well.
So that's Eric Paulson, my teacher. That's, of course, Bruce Lee and Dan Inosanto. And then that's Chad, the director of John Wick. Chad Stelsky is one of my teachers. It's a lot of history. A lot of people don't know that Chad was a real fighter. How does the scene make you feel after you watch it? It's not even about the fighting. There has to be a deeper meaning, a deeper, profound reason as to why the protagonist or antagonist is doing these things, right? All of Bruce's scenes, as subtle as they are, or as violent as they are when it comes to his fighting, he's beating up a bunch of guys, he's doing this, that, and the other thing. All of a sudden, there's this complete presence of peace during, before, and after. And I've always told myself that no matter what thing I choreograph, whether it's a masterpiece or whether it's a small little soundbite of action, there needs to be this moment of, how did that make me feel? And does this look like a philosophy in motion? It's the art of expressing the human body. How can you express yourself truthfully, honestly, and make that look beautiful? Because again, there's the martial art, there's the martial science, and there's the martial sport. How can we make this really combative thing look like an art form? And very much like Charlie Chaplin in the silent era, like a motion picture's motion, right? So that movement has to be a priority. And I think that even if some of the martial arts that we choreograph become too violent for some people, there's others that will look at that and go, oh no, hold on, this is beautiful. Because this is telling a story if you just know where to look.
One of the ththings that I think Bruce Lee is really prolific on talking about is just the exploration of self, you know. So, I'm big into figuring out who I am, what I'm doing here, and really once I got into training Jeet Kune Do, I feel like it led me on the fast track to figuring more about who I am, what my potential is.
Bruce Lee to me means ultimate freedom, the freedom of not only movement, but his philosophical approach to life. When you're rolling, when you're with another human being on the ground and they're trying to catch you with an attack or a counter and they're getting you in a position, you're constantly evolving. You're never static. And it's like Bruce would always say, you never want to be stale water. There has to be continuity. And water is always continuous, right? How is it that water is the softest substance on earth? It's insubstantial, which means you can't hold on to it, but yet it's so strong and powerful that it can penetrate and destroy anything in its path. So you have to be water, right?
Personal development. It's your ability to develop all aspects of who you are as a person, not just the fighting skill, but also you as a person, your spiritual realm, your emotional stability, your physical fitness, your mental toughness. It's kind of just becoming the best you can be. The biggest thing is the ability to explore and just continue to research and develop and never stop that hunger of finding, searching, looking, developing, building everything that you need to be the person you want to be. And I think that's what Bruce Lee was a great example of.
One takeaway that has shined in my life, and I think other people can actually apply this into their lives, is simplicity of expression rather than the complexity of form. And that goes in the martial arts world as well as the world of just everyday life. We live in such a hectic time where it's a sensory overload. What can we do to enhance the moments of analog in our lives, whether it's going out for a walk, dancing, having a moment to reflect with a cup of tea? I think that is what this world needs more of than ever. And the more tech we've evolved to use, I think it's wonderful, it's great, and I think it's inevitable, but I think there's something to be said about remembering where you come from, remembering what you take for granted sometimes, the simple stuff. So again, is not to have those complexities in our life and not to get lost in the noise of all those things considered, and just to keep things simple. And simple is what sometimes wins. And the simple stuff is what keeps us happy, Be formless, shapeless, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water may flow or it may crash.
Be water, my friend.